Okay, good afternoon mga kababayan. Good afternoon everyone. Uh, I'm Tos Nuevo again and I'll be hosting this town hall meeting. We will discuss a lot of issues today, but before I proceed with the opening description of the process, I would like to call on Raymond to remind us again of the protocol and the process that we will have for this meeting. So Raymond, please. Raymond?
Yes, thank you, Tas, and good afternoon to everyone. Please be reminded that questions only can only be raised after when you are invited. Actually, just raise hand, and we will be able to give you the floor. All right. Okay, so enjoy the meeting, and we hope that our information will be helpful for this afternoon. Tas, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Raymond. So, well, as we said earlier, we are recording this meeting for the future reference of our kababayan who are not able to join us today. But the recording will indicate the precise date and the validity of the information in the video whenever it is uploaded in our Buklod Kabayan Facebook page. So, well, this meeting comes at a special moment because there is so much information floating around. Some of them are correct, some of them are not correct, some of them are causing panic, and some of them are creating more confusion. So, of course, as the role of Buklod Kabayan, which is always to assist our kababayan here in Geneva on various issues ranging from their status, their documentation, regularization, uh, the Buklod Kabayan is now opening its second town hall meeting. And again, as usual, we have our dear friend Alessandro De Filippo as our resource person. Of course, in the end, if you have some other information as well, you are welcome to give us additional information. But our main resource person today is, of course, Alessandro, with the help later on, maybe of our kasamas, our colleagues from Buklod Kabayan. We are changing the format this time to make it more interactive and to be more precise in the discussions rather than a long speech. We are making this forum today as a question and answer format. So we have identified a series of questions, and then I will post those questions, and then Alessandro will answer it, and then I will try to recap a little bit in Filipino so that for those who are uh, speaking not much English, then we can also clarify the information. Of course, I will try to be really in my Mindoreño Tagalog. I cannot speak Bisaya, but I have to deal with the Tagalog as a recap of the Alessandro's points. We have four segments in this particular meeting. The first segment is about the control of the identity cards or identity or documentation. That's the first one. And then the second is on the regularization issue after Operation Papyrus. And then the third is, of course, permit renewal. And then the fourth is social and financial assistance that are available for us. So these are the four areas or four segments that I will talk with Alessandro today. So as you will notice, this is more of a conversation between me and Alessandro. And now I would like to proceed. Though, of course, before we leave the segment or the topic, we will try to generate some more questions or if there are some clarificatory information that might come up. But the focus and format that we will have is a question and answer. Okay, so Alessandro, thank you very much again. You are, we call our constant resource person as Suki. SUIK. That's the Filipino word for you're always there for us. No? So we are very thankful at the outset that you have joined us again this afternoon. So uh, if we go to the first issue, which is the control around the documentation, of course, this has created a big panic and big rumors and big gossips in the Filipino community. Of course, as we said in our invitation, sometimes the lack of knowledge causes fear. So, and we are really happy that we are taking this big issue now at this very moment. So, we have heard that there are a lot of controls in buses, in trams, in trains. So, what is going on? What is behind it? Can you tell us?
Hello, before all, thanks for the invitation one more time. And let's go for this question of control. Before all, what is really happening? What is happening is since the beginning of this year's 2021, we could see that there is a lot of control done by border police. This is the first thing. It's the border police and not the cantonal police.
Mm,
There is a big difference because the border police, in French, Corps des Gardes Frontières, and these words are written on the uniform of this police, Corps des Gardes Frontières. It's not a local, a cantonal corps, but it's a federal corps. So we have not the same connection with the federal authority than with the cantonal authority. This is who is doing this kind of control. Where there is a focus around you talk about some public transport like tram, bus, and train. That's true. And it's focused not for the people that cross the border, that are coming from France or going to France, but in the Swiss territory, in Geneva, more especially around some buses and tram that goes in direction on the frontier, but don't cross it. Like, for example, bus number 5, bus number 8, bus number 25, some bus that are going in the Rich Geneva campaign country, tram 17. Tram 17 is one of the most dangerous tram, but sometimes in the 12 too, or in the 14 and the 18 in the side of Merin. That's where we could see this focus. First message, there is absolutely no focus on the food distribution. This is one first fake news. There is no focus on food distribution. The fact is that this kind of control are happening close to the border, at some train stop, bus stop, tram stop, especially on the left side of the city. And the border police goes in the bus or goes in the bus stop or in the tram stop, in the Seva, in the train Seva. Train Seva goes till Lyon. So there is a lot of control around Lyon, around Coppet too. There is some control in the train Regio between Genève and Lausanne to go and back. So as you know, all these lines are very used by domestic workers that use this line to go to work, to do ménage, to take care for children, for all people. And this is the problem, because even if the border police say officially no, we don't focus on the sans-papiers, on undocumented migrants, but just the fact that they do control of identity if the people are with no permit, so then they keep with them for an interrogatory. That's what is happening right now.
Yeah, thank you for that situation there. But before I recap in Filipino, I just want to know what is behind it. Is it because there was a new policy, there's a new law, or is it because of COVID? Can you tell us a bit of what's the basis or point of departure, or it's just a normal thing?
Alors, first thing is that this kind of control always did exist even before,
Hmm.
but was sometimes was quite rare. For example, in bus 8 and bus 5, Filipino knows, especially at the end of the year, for statistical reasons, sometimes the border police did this control. But what is new since the beginning of this year, 2021, is that there is a lot of control. As Collectif Sans Papier and all the association parts of Collectif Sans Papier, we did a press conference last Sunday to denounce that, and we asked to the authority what happened, what is going on. Till now, we don't have any official answer. The administration, the federal administration, Administration Fédérale des Douanes, which is on the head, on the top of the Corps des Gardes Frontières, of the border police, they just say that there are more policemen around Geneva and that they are working against COVID to respect the new rules to fight against the pandemic, which is quite strange as an answer. That's the official answer of the administration. We write to the local administration, to the Geneva government to say that that is happening, even if it's not a cantonal corps. What is happening on your territory, on our territory. So we are waiting that you are saying something and you are trying to stop that. Till now, we don't have any answer.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's a good backgrounder for us. So para sa mga kababayan natin, linawin lang ulit natin na marami talagang mga bagong pag-check, pagkukontrol, pero ito ay limitado sa ilang mga bus lines at ilang areas. So ang unang-una yung halimbawa binanggit na bus 5, bus 8, bus 25, at saka siyempre nilinaw din ni Alessandro na hindi focus ng control yung mga food distribution. So kaya't mahalaga na ipamalita rin natin sa mga kababayan na hindi food distribution ang target ng mga control na to. So tinanong din natin na kung bakit, ano bang dahilan? So pinaliwanag din ni Alessandro na ito ay normal na sitwasyon talaga, pero alam naman natin na ito'y dumami sa panahon na ito. At nagkaroon ng mga representasyon ang ating mga kasama sa gobyerno, sa cantonal government, at ang kanilang opisyal na sagot ay para lamang masecure ang COVID. So para sa regulations ng COVID. So yan yung paliwanag dito sa unang round natin sa kay Alessandro. Now we go back to the next clarification that we would like to check is what
Tos,
to do in case of check-up and interrogation. Raymond, we have to go through the script, and then when we have done the big chunk, we will have at the end. So please, Alessandro, what to do in case of check-up or control or interrogation?
Okay. When after the control, the border police, they see that people have no permit, they bring with them for an interrogatory. Usually, it happens in the post of border police in the Gare Cornavin or in the border of Tonnet-Vallard along the highway. Uh, Even if I can understand that then people find themselves in a very difficult situation, basically, first thing, don't forget that you have some rights. First right is to have someone is to call someone. For example, if you need to call someone, some friend, someone of your family, someone that can help you, or if you have a problem because you have to bring your children at school, something like that, you have the right to call someone. Then you have the right for translation. You have the right to ask for a translator if you don't understand what is happening. You have the right from a lawyer, and you have the right not to answer, to stay in silence. Now, these are the four basic democratic official rights, but I can understand that when people find themselves alone in an interrogatory in the front of the border police, people are afraid and it's a difficult situation. One more thing you have to know is that they have the right to transfer you if they want at the cantonal police, and the cantonal police have the right to keep you 24 hours. Usually, what happened this time is that there is only the interrogatory at the border police. And the first, they do an interrogatory, they ask people where they live, they ask question about the employer, they ask question about how many time people are here, all these kind of question. That's what is happening during the interrogatory.
Okay. So uh, I think it's also important related to this question is the issue of, just to clarify, they will not put you or detain you for a long time. They will just answer you, but there's an option that if they bring you to the police, you can be held for 24 hours. Is that the meaning of it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I repeat, usually the interrogatory is on the border police and nothing more. Then they give you some documents. I will talk about what is it, and it's finished. This is the first message. There is no deportation. There
Mm.
is no danger of immediate deportation or expulsion. Even if the border police say, and I know that they are threatening people, they say you have to leave Switzerland. If we find you one more time, we take you, we put you in jail, or we put you on the fly. It's not true. The border police have not the power to deport people. They can stop people that come at the border from France, for example, yes. But if they do a control like in Cornavin or in Nyon or in Cherbourg, anywhere in Geneva, they don't have the right to deport people. So there is no deportation, immediate deportation.
Okay,
Uh,
so I think
so,
this is the most important portion with this process that we have to look at, na walang deportation. So pwede
um,
kayong mahuli, makita, tanungin, pero walang deportation. So walang immediate deportation. So yun yung
Alessandro,
nililinaw natin.
Alessandro,
Yeah.
Alessandro is right. Sorry, Tas. I just want to
Yeah,
include
address it to
this.
the chair. Yeah.
Hi, yeah, Chair. Um, what about if the person has been caught once or controlled once, and what about the second time? What will happen? What could happen?
Okay. Alors, first thing is what people receive. So we are talking on people that have no permit. Okay. Alors, people they receive a document called right to be heard on measures to remove and ban entry with a decision of expulsion. And this is, in fact, it's like an interdiction of entrance in Switzerland and in all the Schengen country. So like Spain, France, Italy, and so on. This is what the people receive. If they will be checked a second time, it will be exactly the same thing. Because you have to understand that this interdiction is an interdiction of entrance. But if the people don't goes out, they cannot they respect that because they're not entering one more time. So it don't change a lot of things if there is a second or a third control. It will be always the same story.
Mm. Sige, linawin lang natin yung huling punto na pag nahuli ka ng pangalawang beses, pareho din yung sitwasyon na yon, no? So ulitin lang yung proseso na dinescribe kanina ni Alessandro. So, but I think it's also important na Alessandro to know, uh, can we have proxy? Does union proxy or association proxy work in this kind of controls?
Alors, maybe before that, we have to go till the end of the consequences. Because the
Okay.
first consequences is the notification of this interdiction of entrance. But the real problem is that this decision, there is a copy for the federal authority and the cantonal authority, Office cantonal de la population. And it's this authority that can decide for a decision of and to edit a carte de sortie, an house card, and a decision of deportation. This will not happen very quick because there is the administration times. Maybe after some weeks or some months, people will receive this decision. This is why it's very the question when people answer where they live, the address is very important. I can understand that when people ask you where are you living, and a lot of case the people who the place where people live, there are another undocumented, another sans papier, and they don't want to put them in danger. The idea is you can give the address that you want, but the most important thing is to be sure, if possible, that people will receive then all official letters from the authority. So then we can manage what to do, because a lot of time people they change very quick, or then they say an address that it's absolutely not true, and they don't know what they will receive. So this is a central point, the question of address.
Yeah. So that's important reminder as well. So uh, of course, we have the challenge of the whole process in which we have to come in. So this is, of course, the worrying part of the people. This is putting stress on the people when they are not so clear what can happen, especially if people start thinking that they will be immediately deported. So thank you that you have clarified that it is also a process and there's no immediate expulsion for that. Okay, so uh, so after the check, you is that the description that you have said, or you can elaborate more on the steps that can come to any person who is caught or controlled in this process?
Alors, one more question maybe the people have to front is the question on the employers.
Mm.
And I can understand that it's difficult because if the border police ask the name and address of the employer, then there is a real risk that they put this employer under pressure and this employer will quit the job. So if people are afraid about that, what you can do is, for example, to give name of old employer for whom you don't work anymore, or you can just say that due to the crisis, the health, social, and economical crisis due to the COVID, you don't have any more jobs you are looking for, but at this time you are not working. This is one other way to answer this complicated question.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. So sinasabi lang ni Alessandro na dapat kapag tinanong din tayo sa employer, lalo na ito yung kabuhayan natin at siyempre ito yung nakaka-nervyos na aspeto ng interrogation, ay pwede mo namang sabihin yung mga dati mo ng employer para hindi naman ma-endanger yung current na employer mo. O kaya, pwede mo rin sabihin na naghahanap ka pa ng trabaho sa kasalukuyan. So, yan yung isang mahalagang guide siguro na dapat din nating tandaan sa pag-handle sa interrogation.
Chair,
Okay.
Chair,
Yes.
Rodi,
yes.
si
Can
Rodi,
I just share with
dapat
you an experience that a friend of mine had with the police Donyong? She was controlled, and she was asked her address. She said her address, but without saying the care of. So even she told the police that her address, no correspondence. She cannot get any letters from the minister public or from the service de contravention. And she was asked also where does she work, because her employer is so good. She just said, "Oh, actually, I'm here in Lyon. I'm searching for a job." So sometimes you have also to have the discernment and the wisdom to answer those police agents.
Okay, Alessandro, you would like to comment on that?
Donnie, when you have the chance, give me a chance to say something also. Si Rodi ito,
Yeah.
tsaka, bakit nawala yung video ko? Dinisconnect nyo ako sa video?
No, you have the control on your own video. I
Wait.
will recognize you later after Alessandro answers.
Sige, okay.
Yes. Alessandro,
Yeah,
You're
no,
on. Yeah.
about them, about the question of the employer, every situation is different. One more time, you have the right not to answer, but I know that it's difficult, but people have the right not to answer. If they answer, they can say that they have no more jobs, or they can say the direction of all the employer, or if they don't care because the employer is not correct, they can say the truth. There is different way. There is not one perfect answer of all this. There is different way to answer.
Yeah. Okay. So, of course, the specific context will define how you will precisely answer the question. So, siguro just to say it na, syempre, kanya-kanya na lang ding diskarte. At pero ang sinasabi nga ni Sandro, depende sa situation, ano yung mga pwede mong information na gamitin para mas mapagaan yung pagpapaliwanag mo, go ahead with it. Okay, we'll now take a question from Rodi, but just to remind the participants, this will be the last in-between question because I have to finish the conversation with Alessandro, and then we will open the floor for other questions. So, Rodi.
Just to share with you one other matter regarding employer. There are employers who, having heard the news, does not want their employee to come to their place. So they don't work, they don't have income. I don't know what to do, but what they can do, but just so we're aware, that's another situation. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's very important because that means it is limiting the possibility. And because of fear on the side of the employers, we are depriving our kababayan, our fellow Filipinos, the possibility to work, which is much more a double whammy, so to speak, because they have the threat of the control, and then the threat of the control is resulting for them to become unemployed or without income or without job. So this is very tragic element that we have to look at. So Alejandro, do you have to comment on this issue?
Not directly. I can understand that there is a lot of fear about what is happening, but it's not possible to stop everything. It's not possible to stop to go to job. It's not possible to stop to go to the doctor if you have a problem, or if you have to do a test for COVID. It's not possible to stop to do at the food distribution. It's not possible to stop to look for your children at school. So if you are working, if you need to work, go. And if something happened, and then this is the answer to your last question, Tos. If something happened, if you've been controlled, if you receive this right to be heard on measure to remove ban entry, this is the name of the document, you contact us very quick. When I say us, so I give you a list of all, can be directly Collectif de Soutien aux Sans-Papiers or one of the other organization member of Collectif Sans-Papiers, or directly Buklod Kabayan, that way will make the link and the with us. But contact us, because as I told you before, the next step after this first control will be the reaction of the Office Cantonal de la Population. We are in negotiation with them. I don't know what will happen right now. That's why it's very important to update the information. But we cannot be sure that the people will receive in a second time and deportation decision. Maybe yes, maybe not. That's why it's so important to contact us after the control. And there is another reason why it's so important to contact us. When I say us, it includes, one more time, all the organization of Collectif Sans-Papiers, included Buklod Kabayan, can be Centre de Contact Sus Immigrés, can be Syndicat CID, can be Syndicat UNIA, Centre de Contact Sus Immigrés, CSP, Caritas, no matter, but one of these organizations. Because the other reason is that we need to know exactly what is happening now. The problem with this situation is that there is so many rumors, so many fake news on the social media, that it's very difficult to make a distinction between reality and rumors. For example, I'm not sure if this last week there had been control of the border police or not on the train and bus. So if it happened, contact it and make let us know the information, because we need to have this back from the reality to know what to do.
Yeah, I think that's very important that they should report the case or share it with the organizations that you have mentioned. So I think in Filipino, we just want to say that kapag kayo ay na-control, ay i-share niyo yung information o i-report niyo doon sa mga organisasyon na binanggit nga ni Alessandro, kasama na ang yung kanyang main association, yung collective, at saka yung Buklod Kabayan. Mahalagang malaman nila yung information na yon para malaman din natin kung gaano ba talaga kalawak yung kaso. Baka minsan, 3 lang pala yung na-check, pero akala natin 100 na yung na-check. So I think it's very important that the organizations helping the migrants here are knowing what is happening on the ground. So this is an important reminder, and of course, Buklod Kabayan will promote this action, that if they can share their experience and you can know the number of people who are being controlled, so that we get a sense of what is really happening on the ground. Okay, that wraps up the points of identity controls or documentation control. But I think if you have some additional points, Alessandro, and then
No,
we can open the
just to
floor.
conclude
Yeah.
this point with some basic message, there is no direct deportation. Please don't panic. Okay? If you will be defended eventually, individually, everyone will be defended by us for the consequences. You're not alone. And in the other side, we are acting with the authority trying to stop that. So I understand that it's a difficult situation, but you cannot stop your life. Don't panic. And if you have questions, go to your represent your association, your community association, or come to us, call us. We can answer to your question, but don't panic. Okay? Don't panic, no direct deportation.
Okay, I will say that in Filipino in my closing again, but if there are some comments from the floor now, of course, we are running on time, but please, oh, Raymond, you have one more item in the chat.
Yes. Once you have your interrogation with the police, the procedure will be you will be denounced to the minister public, and there's no deportation. Then the minister public will give the decision, and they will transfer the decision to the service de contravention, and you will receive the amount to be paid to the police the service de contravention. That's all.
Okay, that's
This is at the
good
end of
additional
the this is
information.
at the end of the process.
Yeah.
Sometimes it go to the minister public, sometimes not. I
Mhm.
Mm.
repeat, the most important and the most problematic consequence, it's not the ministère public, it's the Office cantonal de la population.
Okay, good. So I think just to wrap up this first segment, we have three more segments to go. So I think we will try to manage our time very well. But of course, as we know, the point is there are controls happening now, more regular, though it is part of a normal governmental work, so to speak. But as we said, there is a noticeable increase of checks in the particular areas that were mentioned earlier. So, but what is important, as emphasized by Alessandro, is that when you are interrogated, you have rights. First, you have the right to call someone. Pwede kayong tumawag sa mga kakilala nyo o kasama nyo o sa mga kasama nyo sa community. Second, you have the right for interpretation. It is important na ma-interpret din, lalo na sa French, yung at malinaw ang magiging pag-uusap ninyo. Third, you have the right to a lawyer. No? So of course, kung kailangan mo ng abogado at may right ka na kumuha ng abogado. And lastly, you have the right to be silent. So pwede ka mong hindi magsalita at hindi sumagot sa mga tanong sa iyo. So these are the four basic rights that Alessandro is reminding us as if ever we have experienced the control. And then, of course, the big message that we would like to confront with regard to the gossips and the rumors going around is that there is no immediate deportation, because there is a process that has to be followed. And that process, of course, if you have experienced control, be reminded to please report it to your community, to the associations, to the trade unions, and to the NGOs that you know with regard to your community. So these are some of the clarifications that we would like to say and relate to our Filipino kababayans out there.
Tos, can I add one more on the summary?
Yes,
That
Rodi.
if in case they are being asked to sign something, don't sign, especially if it's in French and they don't understand.
Okay.
The documents are
that's
not in French. If you speak English, the document will be in English. If you speak Spanish, will be in Spanish, and so on.
Okay, but
the
it is still
decision
better
of
not to sign.
interdiction, it's always in English. And to sign, it means just that you received it.
Okay, so if you ever you sign, you just receive it. You don't attest on something else.
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good reminder.